Hey, alright everybody, how's it going? Now earlier on, I was looking at the Volkswagen ID Buzz. I do like them, I like them a lot, but I was looking at one that'd been in an accident, quite a big accident, something that I couldn't repair myself, so I was just looking at what the price would go, what it'd go for in an auction in Copart. Now, the funny thing is, people who don't like EVs or don't want an EV do say in my comment section, and they say on other social media, a lot of these people who don't like EVs say a used EV, nobody wants to buy a used EV, but you know, if you look at the data, used EV sales have gone up massively. They have gone up massively. And another thing they'll say is a damaged EV is worth nothing. So I think this video is quite relevant to the people who tend to they express themselves through emotional thinking. That's the only way I can describe it. Is they think, instead of, you know, educating themselves, looking at prices and what it goes for, in their head they think, I would never buy a damaged EV, or I'd never buy a used EV. So their mind thinks everybody else thinks exactly like them, and that's exactly what it's like. Okay, so they don't educate themselves on the prices or if used EVs are selling. They just think it. So if they think it, that's the way the world is. But the world doesn't work like that. We all know that. Well, I say we all know. The people who don't like EVs don't know that. They seem to be a special type of breed, you could say. So what was I saying? Right, so I was looking on Copart. Now, if you've looked at my other videos before, I have actually bought two crash damaged EVs. The first one I bought was a Nissan Leaf, and I fixed that one up, drove it around for a while. I put it for sale on Facebook Marketplace and eBay, and the messages I got, I've never had as many messages for selling the car as when I put the Nissan Leaf up for sale. So to say nobody wants to buy a damaged EV or a used EV is a lie. It's a total lie. And I've got experience. I've got experience of putting one on there. And if the price is right, people will bite your hand off. Anyway, so let's get back to the ID Buzz. Now, I'm going to put a picture up of the ID Buzz. I'll have to blur some of it because it is sort of, you're not allowed to use Copart images. You know, it's got copyrights and stuff like that. So I'll have to blur around some of the image, but I'll try and put it up there so you can see what I'm talking about. The damage. So I'll put the picture up now, and then you can put your guesses in. It's I think it was a fairly new. I'll put the mileage and everything and what have you. Right, it's quite a new one. Very, very nice before it got damaged. But put your guesses. Don't wait until I reveal the price at the end. Pause the video or whatever, or go and comment. Put your guesses down, right? And then we'll see if you was close or far out. Now, what was I going to say? Yeah, so at the end of this video, I'll show you the price of what it actually went for. Now, you've got to remember that the price it goes for as well, there's usually over £1,000 worth of fees as well on top of Copart. So whatever the hammer price is, it never is. It goes up. And if you've got to have it delivered, that's another thing. There's VAT on top. All them sorts of things. So put your guesses down below. Now, talking of vans as well, because I'll think I'll waffle on a bit more. The PV5, is it? The PV5, that's been all over the social media and YouTube today. So Kia's bringing out a van. Now, the anti-EV types keep saying that why are car manufacturers starting to invest back into combustion engines? Well, they never stopped investing in combustion engines. They're still trying to eke out every last bit until it's the end. That's what's happening. But they somehow they think that no car manufacturers are still investing in EVs, but that's not true. And that's especially true for Kia, because I think they unveiled, was it 3 cars today? I think it was the EV4 hatchback, EV4 saloon, and the PV5, and they also showcased the EV2, but that's just a concept thing at the moment. So Kia is investing massively. Now, I do like a van, and you know what I like more than just a van? An electric van. I would like to have an electric van. They're a little bit expensive. I don't fancy the Nissan Leaf that much because it's a bit of a noddy van, if you know what I mean. It's quite small. As a van goes, it's quite a small. It's a skinny van. It's quite short. It's tall, but it's a skinny, short. It's just, I don't like it. Okay, I'll say it. I don't like the Nissan ENV200. That's what I should say. That's what it is. I don't hate it. I just don't like it. I'm not drawn towards it because it's quite a small van. If it was a bit bigger, then I'd like it. So, what was I saying? The PV5. I really like that van. Looks like a fantastic van, and it looks like it's going to be priced quite good compared to the Volkswagen ID Buzz, which is quite expensive. And also, I did look at the EU. It was news from the EU that EV registrations in the EU are up as well. And I did say registrations, you anti-EV lot, because if I say sales, they get their ear off. They really get their ear off. If I made a video saying petrol sales are up, nobody would type, it's registrations. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't. But when you say it about EVs, they're in there straight away. Even though they're not anti-EV. They keep telling me they're not anti-EV, but they can't wait to say blah, 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 blah. That's what I get it all the time. I'm not anti-EV, but... so, EV registrations have gone up in the EU. EV registrations are up in the UK. And second-hand sales of EVs have soared. They've skyrocketed. So, what did the smashed up Volkswagen ID Buzz cost? So I'll put the price up now. That's the price, and then add an extra. I had a look. You have to add something like an extra £1,500. That's if you collect it yourself, it'll be £1,500 plus the collection. If you live far away, the further you live away from the Copart where it's situated, the more you've got to pay for delivery. So add £1,500 to that price as well. And you can see that when a person says a damaged EV is worth nothing, they're talking absolute ghoulies. Okay? Ghoulies! They're talking ghoulies. They're talking absolute rubbish. And they're not talking from experience or data. Like I said, it's just an emotion that runs round in their head. They think it sells for nothing, so that's what it is. But that's not true, is it? So there we go. That did sell for a pretty penny. It was smashed up to bits on the one side. It was smashed up to bits, but it's still sold for a lot. Anyway, I am keeping my eye out for an electric van. So in the future, maybe I might have an electric van. I did buy a cheap diesel van off Copart. Somebody might have noticed on my other channel that I did buy a diesel Copart van from Copart, and it was a pain in the bum. The DPF was clogged up. It was smoking everywhere. So I done that up, and I got rid of that one pretty soonish. I don't think I'll get another diesel. I can't stand it. I can't stand all the fumes. I was revving the car, I breathed the fumes in, and my lungs were funny for about 3 hours. I'm not joking, I'm serious. And I thought, this is... People who think diesel's still going to be around in years to come, I'm sorry, but it's not. It's just... If you own a diesel now, you can run it as long as you want and keep it. I'm absolutely fine with other people owning diesel cars, but for me, it's a no. I'm out. I bought the diesel van, really cheap from Copart, but You can't drive a diesel van. You can't do short journeys in modern diesel vans. You can't. If you wanna do short journeys in a van, buying a diesel one is a waste of time. So any short deliveries and stuff like that in diesel vans, it's just a waste of time. I think I looked on forums because it was a Fiat Doblo. I know I'm waffling, but it said the post office bought these Fiat Doblo vans, and the DPF light kept coming on all the time, and you had to take them for a big long run in third gear. It's mental. It's absolutely mental. If you've got a diesel car and you don't take it for a long run, you've got to go and take it for a long run and drive it in third gear, revving the guts out of it just to clear the DPF. And if that doesn't work, you've got to spray stuff in it to clear the DPF. And if that doesn't work, you've got to take the DPF off, and you've got to have that cleaned out. It's mental. It's nuts. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm waffling. If you did like this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ahoy!